So we start our coverage this morning with an update from eNCA's Ayesha Ismail, who has been tracking developments at the St. George's Cathedral. Ayesha, thank you. So yesterday there was also that opportunity, there was the opportunity for ordinary members of the public to come through and pay their respects. You engaged with many of them. Do we expect that the processes will be pretty much the same today?
That is correct, Tula. So yesterday we saw about 2,000 people coming into the cathedral to come and pay their respects to Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And of course, as you say, today is the second day of the lying in state. And so more people will be expected to come here, as today is the last day ahead of the funeral tomorrow morning, which will start at 10 o'clock. Now, there's going to be a different scene outside the cathedral this morning. The body is expected to arrive around 8 o'clock, and the streets of Wales Street will be lined with church wardens as well as other members of the clergy, who will then form a guard of honour here along Wales Street outside St. George's Cathedral to welcome the arrival of the body of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And then, of course, the coffin will be taken into St. George's Cathedral, where it will lie in state for a second day. And then, remember, to us yesterday, the body was taken back to the funeral parlour at around just after 5 o'clock. Today, the body will remain inside the cathedral, where members of the clergy will hold a night vigil into the morning and prepare for the funeral of Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Right, so that's a new addition, is it not, Ayesha? The tweak that has been made to the plan to say, actually, rather than take it back to the funeral home, the body of the late Arch will remain inside the cathedral overnight. But also yesterday we saw, Ayesha, the sense of being relatable in terms of the casket that the Arch chose for himself while he was alive, to basically say that he would want to be buried in a simple pine casket. I did see that it triggered a conversation throughout South Africa about the relatability of the Arch, the common touch. Do we expect the same processes involving the clergy, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba as well, the solemn practices that they undertake upon receiving the mortal remains of the Arch?
Well, remember, Tulas, we've been saying since Sunday, since the news broke of the passing of the Arch, that he always wanted a simple funeral. And as Bishop Thabo said, and also Dr. Mampela Rampela said, that they've made sure that the Arch's wishes were carried out to the letter. He has chosen his hymns, he has chosen the prayers, he has chosen who he wants to lead the prayer service, and this is exactly what they are going to do. And as I said to us, it was going to be actually a beautiful scene to see Wales Street lined up, forming the clergy, forming a guard of honour to receive the coffin when it arrives here at St. George's Cathedral, and then to carry this very simple coffin, this pine coffin, into St. George's Cathedral. And now what we do know, of course, is that the Archbishop will be cremated and his ashes will be interred inside St. George's Cathedral.
And the other aspect, Ayesha, that we saw yesterday was, the laying of wreaths outside St. George's Cathedral. That pretty much very quickly became quite a beautiful wall of tributes from ordinary members of the public and various bodies, organizations, civil society and others who came across the path, came across the Arch during his time here on earth.
Yes, Tulas, it was actually interesting to see how many families came. parents bringing their children to come and pay their respects to the Arch, and also to come and sign the books, the condolence books that the City of Cape Town has put out outside St. George's Cathedral. And as you say, they were just ordinary people, members of civil society, members of NGOs. I also saw quite a few business people, politicians who have come and stand in the long queues, not wanting to just, go to the front. I saw Mandla Mandela and his wife Rabia Clark Mandela also going to the back of the queue, standing in the rain, waiting their turn to come inside the cathedral to pay their respects to Archbishop Desmond Tutu. It is a very good system that they have going outside the cathedral. COVID-19 protocols are being observed. People come in, their hands are sanitized, the temperature is taken, and of course the social distancing is observed, and people are then ushered into the cathedral. And the good thing about this also is that people will have an opportunity, once they've looked at the coffin, they will then be given an option to compose themselves and to meditate inside the cathedral before they're allowed to exit.
Yeah, that's actually quite an important innovation, and also, consideration, let me call it that, also in line with the practice of the Arch during his time, that he valued that moment of, solitary reflection and meditation. Ayesha Ismail, thank you. Live for us from outside the St. George's Cathedral, which will be the focal point on day 2 of the Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's mortal remains lying in state for members of the public to be able to come through and just say their final goodbyes and just stand for a moment next to the coffin, the casket, and basically say a prayer, or, just have a moment of reflection.